So a couple of things that are important to remember about an internal law firm sale are that it's really not an external sale. So it's not that somebody's going to show up with a bunch of money and be able to do the buyout, right? What we're looking at is really contractual in nature. Effectively, you are adding a partner, you're protecting yourself from anything going wrong in that process, and you're setting it up so that you can get financing in that transaction. I think the important thing to remember there is that the contract has to be right. You've got to work with a business attorney who truly understands the process and the provisions in the shareholders agreement or the operating agreement for your firm that absolutely need to be there. Okay, so the takeaways here are that it's a multi-stage process, and one really big thing is that the person in your firm, the associate you're selling it to, whoever the internal transferee is, doesn't have to have a lot of cash up front, because you will be funding the initial step of the transaction, and then we would look for either you to fund the second step or more likely there to be external funding for the additional steps in the process. I think this is important to really highlight, because a lot of times that's what stumps attorneys from doing these internal transfers, is the fact that their associate or the person in the firm, Saul in our case, does not have a bunch of cash lying around. And that almost never happens in the business world, where a buyer is going to come in with a chunk of cash and just buy that business outright. And when I talk about an individual buyer, as we would have in this case. So just remember that as you're setting this up, right, you're setting it up so that we can structure the financing on top of the steps.